Marketing and Responsible Advertising, a Balancing Act.
Hello everyone and welcome to this webinar organized by SiGMA, Marketing and Responsible Advertising, a Balancing Act. With us today we have Vasiliki Panousi, Silver Portugov, and myself, Peter-Paul de Goeij, and I will be moderating this webinar. And I will first give the opportunity to Vasiliki to introduce herself to the audience. Vasiliki.
Thanks, Peter-Paul. Hello. So my name is Vasiliki. I work at the European Gaming and Betting Association, EGBA, as a manager of European affairs. EGBA is a Brussels-based association that represents online betting operators vis-à-vis the European institutions and national regulators.
Thank you very much. And then over to Silver.
Hi, my name is Silver Portugov and I work for Mr. Gamble. I joined Mr. Gamble in April as a CBO, and my job here is to make sure that our brand has the best deals online and also customers informed about the responsible gaming futures. We realize that there's a huge part of business doing very aggressive marketing. Therefore, our goal here is to make the difference.
Thanks for that, Silver. And then lastly, my name is Peter-Paul de Goeij. Like I already said in the beginning, I'm the Managing Director of the Netherlands Online Gambling Association, also known as NOGA. And we represent the online gambling operators that want to become active in the Netherlands as soon as the licenses become available. And today is very special to me since NOGA feels very strongly about self-regulation. We think that as an industry, we should lead the way and make sure that the industry behaves well and with the consumer's best interest in mind. And also in the field of marketing, self-regulation really is very important. So I'm glad that we can spend a few minutes on this very topic today with these very intelligible people. Vasiliki, I just mentioned self-regulation as an important thing. I know for a fact that you in EGBA have been very active in this field of self-regulation. In fact, you guys have come up with the first pan-European code of conduct ever for advertising. Is that not true?
Yes, it's absolutely true. It's a European Code of Conduct for Responsible Advertising that was published in April this year. It's a work that we have concluded after working together with our members for 2 or 2.5 years. In particular, we went through national existing self-regulatory codes as well as decisions of advertising authorities on gambling ads, so that we gathered let's say the most efficient measures for consumer protection, but we actually decided to take a step further. So we included, for example, a dedicated chapter for minor protection, a dedicated chapter for sponsorship deals, a chapter on content moderation that foresees how the gambling ads should or should not look like. And most importantly, I think there is, for the first time in history, a chapter for social media. So the use of technology in order to track minors and avoid targeting them on social media, but also the use of technology to age-gate the social media profiles of gambling operators online, again, to avoid minors seeing them. And as a final point, I would like to say that it's a responsible move. It's a very responsible and a move of commitment, I would say, from our members, because they are committed to be monitored on a frequent basis by an independent third body. And it's a code that is not exclusive. It is open for any other gambling company who wants to join. And we actually invite as many gambling companies as possible to join us.
Right, and it's also possible for trade associations to commit themselves to it. Is that correct?
It's correct in the form of publicly endorsing the code, which means that national associations commit to raise awareness about this code to their members and invite them to join.
Yeah. Okay, that's really interesting. And Silver, when we talk about self-regulation, how do you see that as an advertising company? Do you think that's important?
Yes, I believe actually it's very important with nowadays gambling norms, because like self-regulation is great, as it means everyone upholds the high moral standards, putting the customers at the forefront of responsible advertising. Also, if you ensure everyone is on board with it, then you don't have the government dictating what you have to do. So yeah, I think just there must be like a fluent workflow between operators and affiliates to ensure everything stays in line. And I think there should be like a more general rules applied for the marketing, as from our perspective, we see a lot of difference when it comes to the different operators in market, that we need to advertise like different things on the pages. What some operators require one thing and some other. So even when it comes to development work, it requires a lot of time. So it's not very efficient in that sense.
Yeah, I really agree with what you said, especially with making sure that politicians and the government doesn't have to step in. So I think it's really a role that the industry should take and make it a priority and make a real push, and don't just do this to greenwash gambling, but be sincere about it. So this is very much a shared responsibility, and I know, Vasiliki, that you have a very strong opinion about this. So how do you see let's say the division of roles between licensees and affiliates, for instance, in advertising? How do you see that relationship?
Well, I think it's a quite bonded relationship, in the sense that gambling operators have, at least under the European Code, they have the obligation to make their affiliate companies aware of these rules that they abide to, and check whether they comply with them and encourage them to comply with them. But at the same time, they can't be, let's say, the police of their contractuals. So it's also the affiliate companies that need to behave responsibly and promote and publish responsible gambling advertisements. And I don't think it is anymore about avoiding further restrictions. The restrictions are in a very big majority out there. And probably this is because the gambling industry might have been a bit late in reacting responsibly. So now it's time to finally make this responsible move and make it jointly, not just to avoid another one or two restrictions, but to, let's say, have a strong vocal voice towards responsibility and be united. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah, I agree very much. And sometimes you see, in advertising, they look at other markets to compare, and sometimes you hear the comparison that they make between the gambling market and the alcohol industry. Do you think that's a reasonable comparison to make?
Well, I wouldn't say that it's necessary, but it's definitely happening. I personally don't think that the gambling industry should be compared to any other industry. It's an entertainment industry, first and foremost. It's not alcohol, it's not tobacco, but yes, someone can see the common points between these industries and take the good examples and exclude the bad examples. And the truth is that we can take the good examples from the alcohol industry, in the sense that they were fast to self-regulate themselves and do it in a united and responsible way. At EGBA, we always like to say and make fun that they managed, the alcohol industry managed to sponsor the Formula One races. And this is a great achievement that shows how self-regulation can actually work in practice.
Yeah, agreed. And if I remember correctly, the sales numbers in the let's say the beverage industry have been dropping as a result of COVID-19 and the lockdowns. Silver, what is your view of the effects of COVID-19 and the lockdowns on the gambling industry and on the marketing perspective in particular?
Yeah, well, like Vasiliki just mentioned before as well, it is a shared responsibility for both operators and affiliates to keep the marketing on safe terms. And I think the main goal still here is to keep the customers enjoying the product as long as possible. Therefore, like the aggressive marketing wouldn't be sustainable in a long term. So we have seen several casinos as well sending out extremely high offers for us personally, but we tend to choose more the operators who are paying more, like greater attention for the customer safety and the responsible gaming and so on. So this is something really what we started to feature on our website like over a half a year ago, like about the responsibility, and also through our Twitch streams and everything like this, we also mention all the time every stream to just pay attention for the responsible gaming and therefore also the marketing. But overall, I think the online gaming industry hasn't changed drastically during the lockdown, as most of the clients are enjoying the gambling on the mobile devices anyway. So it's although the land-based casinos are closed, I think there hasn't been a drastic change.
Mm-hmm. Okay, because here in the Netherlands, there were complaints about casinos or online casinos or affiliates advertising with corona-free casino, be safe, come and play with us, etc. And this draw a huge negative response, very understandably, by the gambling regulator, but also by politicians. So, Vasiliki, do you have a clear picture of what happened on this in Europe, basically?
Well, we have a picture of the first lockdown. It's very soon to judge the current lockdown. But indeed, what we have seen in the first lockdown is governments from many European countries restricting or even banning advertising, at least for a certain amount of period, which was the period of the lockdown. Either based on the assumption that people will gamble more because they would stay home, which is not true, or based on the very aggressive marketing by some companies during Corona. And for these 2 points, I would like to mention that, again, you can really monitor the situation on gambling advertising during lockdown, and you can see that the majority of the restrictions do not apply because there is some evidence that shows the very bad effects of advertising to people, but because of the very bad marketing practices. These companies, as you mentioned, inviting people to play in corona-free rooms, or aggressive messages inviting people to gamble now that they are home. It's something that we disencourage very much, and we, as an association, we make a public statement about it, which our members followed, and we invited also other gambling operators to follow it and avoid such type of messaging. And I would also like to mention that actually we have consulted with some national associations, and they gave us figures on how much people gambled during the lockdown, and it was actually less.
Oh wow! So basically, so what you see in the alcohol, you also see what you see in the alcohol also happened in gambling.
Yeah, maybe people were busy making banana bread, I don't know. But you can see that, for example, in Belgium, there was a 38% drop, and in Denmark, there was a 60% off.
Wow.
So it's really not about people gambling a lot or, the actual effects of advertising. It's about very bad advertising practices.
Yeah, agreed. So, believe it or not, we're drawing to a close almost now. So this brings me to your wishes for the future in marketing of online gambling. So, Silver, what would your hope for the future be?
So, as Vasiliki mentioned before as well about the responsible gaming and everything, so we as a company really hope that the responsible gaming and the marketing is going to be the future of gambling, both online and land-based. So I think we just need to pay more attention on the client's overall health and also why not their financial situation. So. So that's really what we think that will be the future and what we try for.
Okay, great. I completely support that. And Vasiliki, what is your biggest hope for the future?
I hope that this avalanche situation that is happening now, meaning that some irresponsible companies affecting the image for responsible companies as well, would stop. And I hope for a more responsible marketing scheme on online gambling and unity around in the industry.
Well, I couldn't have said it better. This is exactly what I'm pushing for in the Netherlands, in my home market, so to speak. Unity, work together to a safer, better, and more attractive online gambling market in the Netherlands. I think we have said what we could say in this limited time frame. I would like to thank SiGMA for giving us the opportunity to speak on this webinar, and I would like to thank the people that have tuned in and are watching for watching. And Silver and Vasiliki, thanks very much for being on the panel with me. And
Thank you.
hopefully we speak again in the future sometime. Thank you. Bye bye.
For sure. Thank you.
Bye.